Recently I've been thinking about the different types of bowls that people use to eat cereal with. This right here is an ideal cereal bowl because it's relatively deep and it's quite small, which means the capacity that it holds is quite large. It holds a lot of cereal and a lot of milk before it eventually reaches the top. So you're getting a lot out of this, but then other people use wider bowls, right? So they're a little bit wider than this, maybe, out here, and they're not as deep. In fact, they're probably half as deep, maybe even more than that. And the problem with that is that it doesn't hold much. You fill a little bit of cereal up and it's already at the top. You put in a bit of milk and it's already overflowing. Those types of bowls got me thinking about whether or not you'd be better off eating cereal off of a plate than in a wider bowl. While yes, plates don't have the depth of the wider bowl, you're not really missing out on much since they didn't really have any of that to begin with. So we're going to test whether or not that works today. I've eaten out of a few wide bowls in my life, so I will be able to tell you whether or not I think it's better or not, and you'll just have to believe me. As you can see here, got a bit of depth here. I've definitely fit more on this plate than in a wider bowl. So what it's really going to come down to now is how good it is to eat off of a plate, because using a spoon is going to be relatively difficult, but I do have some other methods in mind. I'm not going to use too much milk here for now. Alright then, so let's test this out with the knife and fork first of all, since it is a plate after all. I mean, okay. The knife and fork is definitely a viable way of eating cereal off of a plate. However, the one big problem here is that the fork obviously has gaps in it, which is letting the milk go and drop off of the plate. So you're not getting much milk on there. So what I'm going to do now is use a spoon. And then I'm going to use the spoon and knife combination. In fact, I'm going to use that first because I think this will be the definitive way of eating cereal off of a plate, because you've not got the gap, so everything should go to plan here, right? We're using the knife to scoop the Cheerios onto the spoon here, but we're using the spoon to keep the milk on it. I don't think there's any time lost there with using a spoon in a regular bowl. However, that wasn't the main experiment. The main experiment was, is it better to just eat off of a plate or a wider bowl that isn't as deep? I'm going to say plate. And the reason is because you can fit more on here. If you're a big eater, if you like eating a lot of cereal, then those bowls are just no good for you. And yes, you could refill them if you want more, but there is another problem, and that is that they are prone to spilling. You fill a little bit of milk up in those bowls and it's already at the edge. You try and move it to the sofa or to wherever you eat your cereal, the table, and it's probably going to be spilling off the edge. So yeah, no good. But on these plates though, you can get enough to the point where you want it, and if you use the knife and fork combination, knife and spoon combination, it's all good. I'm just finishing these Cheerios off right now. This video is not sponsored by Cheerios, by the way. It's just, feel free to sponsor me. I love Cheerios. But, I'm finishing this off here because I would never let them go to waste. And I can say it's just as efficient as eating cereal in the morning. In fact, I didn't even realize I was doing anything different for a moment there. Kind of forgot that I was eating off of a plate, There is one problem. Normally with the bowl, you can just, tip it up into your mouth and drink the rest of the milk. Can't really do that with a plate, not gonna lie. So, bit of a disadvantage there. Well, thank you for joining me on my little experiment today. I was genuinely curious about that topic, and I'm sure some of you have already tried doing this before if you've, got some dirty dishes, dirty bowls that you can't be asked to wash in the morning when you want your cereal, and you've just used a plate instead because you're lazy. It is a good method though, so if you are going to do that in the future, if everyone's already used the bowls and you can't be bothered to wash them, just use a plate, but use a knife as well as a spoon, okay? Definitely give it a shot. But anyway, that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.